the Mughal Empire. First point, building emperor. Second point, Aurangzeb as a Mughal emperor. Third point, Deccan policy of Aurangzeb. Fourth point, impact of Deccan policy. Students of class 9A and 9B, welcome to my class. Now, you please pay attention to it. First point, building emperor. Who is known as building emperor? I think you know it very well. Who is known as building emperor? Mughal emperor Shah Jahan is known as building emperor. Why? Because he constructed a number of beautiful buildings by spending a lot of money and by making it attractive to the visitors of the world. And still now, the buildings constructed by Shah Jahan is a matter of discussion. The visitors of the whole world usually come to visit the places. They come usually, and on being seen, they become very much pleased, astonished. The constructions, the buildings, the mosques, the forts, the mausoleum, whatever he constructed, attracted millions of people of the world till today. That's why Shah Jahan is known as, building emperor. The architectural design of Shah Jahan. The architectural design of Shah Jahan, like Diwani Khas, which were constructed inside the Red Fort and created the image of paradise on earth. Some of the main features of these creatures are number one, emperor had constructed Diwaniyam and Diwani Khas with Pietra design. That design was introduced by Shah Jahan himself. It was a design after a long discussions with other architects. Shah Jahan found out and applied it while constructing the Diwaniyam and Diwani Khas of the Red Fort of Delhi. Emperor's throne was placed in west direction. In Islam, it is the direction towards Mecca from India. Therefore, emperor was equated with the place of God in Islam. Everyone who attended the court faced west. It was the idea introduced by Shah Jahan because he had great faith for the Almighty God Allah. That's why it was constructed facing Mecca and Medina. The depiction of legendary Greek old style he followed while constructing mosques, while constructing monuments, and besides, while constructing Red Fort, created the image of a paradise of art. And the city of Shahjahanabad means the Red Fort was established on the one side of Yamuna river, whereas in Agra, so the construction were done on both sides of the river Yamuna. Shah Jahan is known as the building emperor. There are certain reasons behind it. Shah Jahan is known as building emperor. Where there are certain reasons behind it. Why is he known as the building emperor of the Mughal dynasty? Earlier during Sultanate period, one building emperor was there. Who was he? Do you know? He was Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He was also called the building emperor, the nephew of whom? Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Firoz Shah Tughlaq, sorry, not Ghiyasuddin. Firoz Shah Tughlaq was known as building emperor, the nephew of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But during Mughal age, who is known as the building emperor? Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan is known as the Mughal building emperor during Mughal age. Now, why is There are certain reasons behind it. Yes, I must say that Shah Jahan is known as the building emperor, certainly. Why? Because Shah Jahan, the building emperor, because it was during Shah Jahan's reign. It was during Shah Jahan's reign that the different elements of Mughal architecture were fused together in a grand, harmonious synthesis. And second one, Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan built carefully planned ceremonial halls like Diwaniyam, Diwani Khas within a large courtyard of 40 pillared halls. It attracts the people till today, and till today, those who usually go to pray namaz there was a good system of sitting in front of the Jama Masjid Shah Jahan introduced. He introduced the technique of Pietra dura inlays. Shah Jahan in Agra, Shah Jahan adapted the riverfront garden in the layout Taj Mahal. And the grandest architecture accomplishment of his reign was possible only because of the great mausoleum Taj Mahal, which he constructed for the memory of his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. Here the white marble mausoleum was placed on terrace by the edge of the river, and the garden was its south. That means a building made of white marble in front of a riverside, in front of a river flowing with waves, and two sides gardens. It looks very nice, especially when during moonlit night. Usually travelers usually come and they enjoy Taj Mahal during moonlit night. It looks very nice, very attractive. So Shah Jahan also constructed the Shahjahanabad. You know, Shahjahanabad at Delhi. This Shahjahanabad also is known as Red Fort or Lal Killa. It was in front of it, another mosque also was constructed, that was Jama Masjid, which is considered as one of the biggest mosques of India. None of the Mughal emperors has given so much time and money in building construction. Therefore, we can easily call Shah Jahan to be the building emperor. And next point, the Deccan Aurangzeb as a Mughal emperor. As a Mughal emperor, Aurangzeb could not achieve success. Why? Because of his wrong policies. His predecessors like Akbar, Babar, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, they realized that since India was a Hindu majority country, there should be good policies for the Hindu people, and the policy should have been made which must not harm the sentiments of the Hindus. But Aurangzeb also adopted the same policy during the first half of his empire, first half of his reign. But due to confrontation between the Shia Muslims and Sunni Muslims, that point is not mentioned in your book, my dear students, but you have to learn this point. What is the basic reason? Aurangzeb started his career as a tolerant ruler during the first half of his reign, but ultimately he became intolerant one, and dissatisfied the interest of the Hindus. The jizya tax, which was withdrawn by Akbar in order to satisfy the Hindu pilgrims, once again he imposed it and harmed the sentiments of the Hindus. What was the reason? There are certain reasons behind it, my dear students, because of the contradiction between the Sunni Muslims and the Shia Muslims. The question of religious differences and also played a vital part in shaping the Deccan policy of the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. He adopted the Deccan policy only because of the difference between Shia Muslim and Sunni Muslims. You know why and why? Because Mughal emperors were all Sunni Muslims. The Mughal emperors, they all were Sunni Muslims. But the Sultanate of the Deccan were ruled by the Shias, the Sultanate of the Deccan. And thence the Mughal emperors continued to extinguish these Shia Muslims, these Shia states. Moreover, the political condition of Deccan had provided them with further and greater opportunities for an attack, and Aurangzeb was also not an Aurangzeb was not an exception of this mentality, and hence he followed the policy of imperialism in the Deccan only because of the controversy between the Shia Muslims and Sunni Muslims. Even during the lifetime of his father Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb had tried to conquer and absorb the sultanates of Golconda and Bijapur, but lack of resources, of men, and resistance from Darasuko had frustrated his desire, but he could not achieve success. But his will was there to capture the power and to crush the power of the Shias. And Dara's arguments were accepted by Shah Jahan, and this had disillusioned Aurangzeb's previous plans. When the initial confusion went to the war of succession took place, Aurangzeb again adopted the same plan on being the ruler of the Mughal dynasty. But the thing is that Aurangzeb had to stay at Deccan. Aurangzeb could not understand easy thing that in suppressing the Shia Muslims, Aurangzeb would remain busy and would help other Hindu rulers to rise to power. Only because of that reason, the Marathas became powerful. In the process of suppression for the Shia Muslims, Aurangzeb spent a lot of money. But during the first half of his reign, Aurangzeb remained busy in the process of suppression of the Shia Muslims, since they all were Sunni Muslims. Aurangzeb wanted to be the companion of the Sunni Muslims, but not Shia Muslims. Hence, Aurangzeb not adopted any policy which could harm the sentiments of the Hindus. During the first half of his reign, he remained busy in the process of suppression of the Shia Muslims and adopted the same policy what his predecessors adopted once. But in the process of suppression of the Shia Muslims, Aurangzeb gave a birth of some Hindu powers, like Hindu states rose to power. These states were Mysore, these states were, Maharashtra. The Marathas became powerful. But Aurangzeb ultimately realized that it was his great mistake, and he rejected this plan of the suppression of the Shia Muslims and decided to suppress the influence of the Marathas in India. And hence Aurangzeb became arrogant towards the Hindus. And once again he committed a mistake, that was imposition of tax, jizya tax on the Hindu pilgrims. A number of Indian states became arrogant for the wrong policy, wrong religious policies of Aurangzeb. This wrong religious policy of Aurangzeb, angered Hindu states like Sikhs, Bundelas, Marathas. They all became rivalries against Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Now the Deccan policy of Aurangzeb, Aurangzeb's Deccan policy, gave him Aurangzeb's Deccan policy could not give him concrete land in India, because Aurangzeb had to stay in the Deccan for many years in suppressing the powers of the Marathas. He had to spend a lot of money in suppressing or in capturing or in crushing the growing influence of the Marathas. But the number of states who declared themselves independent, they all stopped paying taxes and revenues. It was due to that reason Aurangzeb sent Murshid Quli to be the Diwan of Bengal, because Aurangzeb realized it that by sending Murshid Quli in Bengal as a Diwan, he would be able to collect huge amount of taxes and revenues, out of which he would spend it in crushing the influence of the Marathas. But except Bengal, most of the states refused to pay taxes and revenues for Mughal emperor. But Murshid Quli collected it strictly and sent it timely. And the amount of taxes and revenues which was collected from Bengal, Aurangzeb spent it for the suppression of the Marathas. And while doing that work, Aurangzeb felt that the policy, whatever he adopted, would result in a great loss and defeat. Ultimately, what he estimated came to be true. The Mughal emperor Aurangzeb and his policy was an utter failure, and ultimately he abandoned the plan, whatever he adopted. But the situation was beyond control. The Marathas became more and more powerful, and Aurangzeb could not suppress them and died broken heart. Now, impact of the Deccan policy. What was the impact of the Deccan policy? Due to the adoption of the Deccan policy of Aurangzeb, the Marathas became powerful, as I told you earlier. The Marathas not only became powerful, but they also started dreaming to be the ruler of whole India. The India under the Maratha India, the people of India also expected the Marathas to be the ruler of India, only because of Shivaji and his growing influence. Shivaji and his good leadership, Maratha guerrilla tactics discouraged Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb could not understand the traditional Maratha guerrilla tactics. For long 26 years, they fought with the Mongols, having their back to the wall, a tense struggle for their existence. The technique of the guerrilla warfare followed by the Marathas had put the Mughals in tight corners, and ultimately the Mughals could not achieve success. Why? Because the Maratha technique of war discouraged them. They came upon the enemy when least expected and plundering and destroying whenever and whatever possible. They used to crush the enemy, but the Marathas could not achieve success only because of the good leadership of Shivaji. Hence, Aurangzeb strictly instructed to arrest Shivaji. Shivaji was arrested, but by applying his presence of mind, Shivaji escaped from Mughal jail, and ultimately he taught the Mughals a good lesson. He recaptured all the forts which were occupied by the Mughals. Moreover, the Marathas were inspired by a new spirit of life. Aurangzeb did try. He could not crush the Marathas. And ultimately, the Deccan campaign of Aurangzeb caused the grievous hurt to the power and prestige of the Mughal Empire and cleared the roads of its decline. The Deccan campaign proved to be an ulcer to Aurangzeb, and his ulcer ruined him. As a result of it, his successors had to suffer a great deal, and presently the mighty Mughal Empire perished only because of the wrong policy of Aurangzeb's, wrong Deccan policy of Aurangzeb, which buried the image of the Mughals forever, the wrong Deccan policy of Aurangzeb. Besides, Aurangzeb's another mistake was to be noted, is to be mentioned. What is it? The Mughal Empire, Aurangzeb imposed jizya tax, which led to discontent among the people. Aurangzeb could not understand the sentiments of the Hindus, but was forced to do so. Aurangzeb was an arrogant ruler. During his first half of his reign, as I told you earlier, Aurangzeb adopted the policy of his predecessors and did not harm the sentiments of the Hindus. And the jizya tax, which was, exempted by Akbar, he also followed it. He did not impose jizya tax on the Hindus. Why? That point also I discussed. It is not mentioned in your book. Because of Shia and Sunni Muslims controversy. The Mughals were Sunni Muslims, and Aurangzeb was a very conservative Muslim, conservative Sunni Muslim. That's why he wanted to crush the influence of the Shia Muslims. It was a great mistake of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. The other Mughal rulers, they never thought of it, but Aurangzeb. It was a great mistake of Aurangzeb. He decided to crush the influence of the Shia Muslims and remain busy in doing it during first half of his reign. That's why he did not have time to harm the sentiments of the Hindus. But as soon as the Marathas became powerful because of his wrong policy for the Muslim Shia Sunni issue, the other regional powers also rose to power. It gave a birth of many Hindu states who ignored the influence of the Mughals and stopped paying taxes and revenues. Out of it, the Marathas became more powerful than others. In order to crush the influence of the Marathas and other regional powers, Aurangzeb grew offended against the Hindu rulers and imposed jizya tax on the Hindu pilgrims. It harms the sentiments of the Indian pilgrims and Indian Hindus, which also had become a great cause of Aurangzeb's failure. Aurangzeb could not achieve success only because of the reason. And ultimately, Aurangzeb spent a lot of money while staying at Deccan during many years of his life. So there was no central authority at Delhi. Aurangzeb could not understand it, that in absence of him, his capital, from where he was supposed to rule the regional kingdoms of India, might become independent and might stop paying taxes and revenues. He could not understand that easy thing. Hence, Aurangzeb had to consider a great defeat. Up to this, my dear students, thank you.